Alright, now you've glanced at the overview. It's time to tackle parts 1 and 2 of the Steadman paragraph. Tell it and show it. So you remember the 4 parts: tell it, show it, explain it, so what? We're only going to focus on the first 2 parts, setting up the quote and including the quote. So let's say you're reading as a Reader by Donald Murray. You're taking notes in the margins or on a separate page. You're noting good quotes which you might use later in a paper. And one of the quotes from the reading is, "For many readers, reading is an escape." Now it's time to respond to the text. So you take that quote and glance at your notes. Tell it, show it, explain it, so what? Now you need to tell it. So before you put the quote in your paragraph, start with a topic sentence to set up the quote. Do not just start with the quote. This is a common mistake of beginning academic writers, sometimes called dropping a quote bomb. So you want to set up your quote. The quote is, "For many readers, reading is an escape." So how can we lead into this quote? How about, "Not all readers read to learn something." So that would be, not all readers read to learn something. That's the tell it. Donald Murray explains, "For many readers, reading is an escape." So notice that we have our topic sentence here. The second sentence doesn't just start with the quote, but includes the author's name and some sort of signal verb, so that we know who's speaking, and we even know a little bit about the tone. He's explaining something. So initially you might be using says more or writes, but as you go, keep an eye on your signal verbs here, trying to match them with the tone of the quote. But our first task is to tell it and show it. So set up the quote and put the quote. So let's try again. In some cases, the material is extremely difficult. In some cases, the author's style is difficult. How can we set this up? Here's a tell it. All readers run into trouble when they are reading. Murray sympathizes. In some cases, the material is extremely difficult. In some cases, the author's style is difficult. Let's try another one. Here's the quote. You read your parents and your roommates, your teachers and your friends, and the strangers you meet on the street or in a bar. We are always reading, even when we don't realize it. Murray explains. You read your parents and your roommates, your teachers and your friends, and the strangers you meet on the street or in a bar. So you choose a quote you think is interesting, you read through it and think what could go before this, and then you set it up with your topic sentence. And that's a quick look, very quick, at parts 1 and 2 of the Steadman paragraph.